Well, hello. One more video. I've been doing a lot of videos lately, so I'll try to be quick. I swear to God, I'm going to try to be quick. Last video was 2 hours. So I'll tell everybody first why I'm doing this video. It's just because there's a lot of lawsuits happening on my business. And so this is a video that I want to do, which is public. This video is public. It's going to be just public on these platforms, which they are available for us to do this. So what I want to do here is introduce myself and what I do, because that's causing confusions, okay? It's causing confusions, and I want to leave it ready so it's registered that everybody knows what I do. Okay, so my name first is Augustin Tomas. Those are my names, and then I was born. I can't believe I do this all my life, but if there's one thing that I do, number one is sales. I'm a salesman, okay? Then my name, Augustin Tomas. Second thing, I'm 43 years old. I was born in 1976. So I was born in Argentina. Parents. My father Irish Argentinian, my mom Italian Argentinian. So I was raised on a family level, Italian and Irish at home. So my grandparents were Italian and Irish, so I had contact with Ireland and Italy as a child, in Argentina, and then Brazil when I moved to Brazil, because my parents moved to Brazil. So I was raised with these four cultures, okay? Italian, Irish, Argentinian, Brazilian. So that means I speak Italian, English, Portuguese, and Spanish, which is the four languages, and I'm fluent in those four languages. I'm almost native in the four languages, okay? I tend to think more in English, okay, because that's the language that I do almost all the time, and that's okay. So in this scenario, okay, I have professionally, I have been involved mostly in sales and marketing since I was 16. I have always been working and stuff. So I was 16, I'll be working on sales. Encyclopedias, so I'll be that boy. I'm very tall, I'm very pale for Brazilian standards especially. So I'll be working all across the city in Brazil that I was living. It's called Belo Horizonte, and I'll be selling encyclopedias and things, dressed like this with a tie with encyclopedias and Encyclopedia Britannica, and I did sell and everything. So then I work in hotels and stuff as a career. And somebody asked, do you need to work or not? I didn't usually, but I like to work. I do like to work. I appreciate work. I like to work, and I always work. So on the sales thing, okay, and the languages I speak and the distribution, I decided to study import-export international business. So I work with international business since 1997 was my first official job. Was an internship. Was a purchasing. It was Brussels, Belgium. It was a Belgian-Brazilian enterprise on the tractors. Now, okay. So I do that all my life, and that's what I do the most. Okay. So for several years, my career, my first 10 years of my career, was in Brazil and in Argentina. I was based in South America, so I'll be working in Brazil and Argentina, always working for European or companies or American clients. So I would be always involved on the South American, European, and American trade of goods, like auto parts, furniture, slate for billiard pool tables and all that. So in these 10 years I'm working there, okay? Then when it's about with a lot of things in the economy in Brazil and the economy in the world, because there was this 2008 crash that changed a lot of things, and then on this crash, I ended up moving to the USA. So physically, like I was since 2008 now, I'll be spending most of my time in the United States physically, myself. And on this process is when I decided to start working independent, to have my own company. And that's why I started LEGroup, which is now on year 12 years. That's why I write here all the years, 12 years. So I go and then I start working with LEGroup Industries. On that time, the business that I was doing was building materials. So I'll be working with building materials made in China and made in Brazil, and I'll be selling it to Africa and to Latin America. I had my trade, I had my business, that was 2000, but then there was the crash. On the crash and working independent, and which this started with a joint venture with a company in China, in Tianjin, China. I was in China. I've been traveling all over the world like all my life, and like I was in China in 2004. Like that's another part. Like London, England, trade shows everywhere and stuff. So then I start developing LEGroup Industries, and I chose Miami. I chose Miami for economical reasons, and I had there was an association with the Brazilian government there, and then we started this operation there in downtown Miami. That's some of the questions I have, like why the address. I was in Miami. Yes, I was physically in downtown Miami for like 2 years, 2011, 12. And then in 2013, I moved my office to Port Everglades, which is the port in Fort Lauderdale. So as a company myself, I exist for 12 years, because that was 10 years, so that was 2010. 2008 and 2009, I had a website, I had the email, but I was still working with a residence in Brazil. So I had accounts. The first account, I was like they hired me as an employee, but there wasn't still as a consultant. It was a big account. I was doing furniture all over the USA. Okay, in this process, okay, and since 2010 is when I decided to work with food, with the food business, because I like the food business. I think it's a necessity. I think because there's no water here, there's water there, so some food business like rice. I sell rice, the #1 product that I have in selling rice. It is a necessity. Rice is a necessity. Like countries, they just don't have water and they need to buy rice. And so I chose to do this. Okay. So since then, I am here selling my products and everything. I get questions, okay, because I was even somebody called me a broker or a middleman or a broker, and they said that in even on court or something. And I'm like, no, I am not a broker, okay. If there is one denomination that relates more to what I do, I am a manufacturer. Okay, why am I a manufacturer? Because all the products that I sell, I have created them myself. So I developed them. There are exceptions. Which are the exceptions? This cheese here, there was this slate, there was an exception. Those are exceptions. Those exceptions are because the manufacturer did not want to produce my products, because they imposed, not because I didn't request. Okay, because I went with orders with my name and my brand and my company, but then the manufacturer said, no, we want to do this brand instead. So, but those are the cases in the negotiations. But all the other ones I developed, I went to the court, I do. So there is a lot of work on my side to do the artwork, I do the design. And also I have a lot of, I call them associates, because I don't have a specific name to give for the collaborators that I have. But usually what I do is the artwork. I put together all the designs, and there are several ones that here, that those that are they're there. There, you can see that. What's the back there? There's another back there. You cannot see that. It's on that wall. But it's this here. So this is like I have developed a design, and this is in different languages, and this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It follows the international standards, that's the nutrition facts and things. And I created these products from scratch. So I go to the manufacturers, like this manufacturer in particular, they're in Thailand. They were not doing the transparent bags, so I created this. I do details like putting the names on the side, and they are on one side and on the other side. You see that they are all make sense in the whole thing. With all my own work and based on the difficulties, which is that they're very strange. A lot of people in the market, they do not understand really a lot of the problems that we face and a lot of other companies face, which is mostly related to legal matters, banking matters, communication matters, and safety matters. They're not related to my work itself. It's the market. That's the thing about working on sales, is that when you work on sales, you can talk about the market. So a lot of times I mention the market, and I've been saying this over and over, is like, you cannot blame the fish for not swimming like straight if the river is contaminated, okay? And unfortunately, the market has been very rough. That's all I can say. It's been very rough for the past 5 years, since 2008. Now there's something that I do not know what it is, but the market has been very rough, and it was not this rough 10 years ago. It was not. There was more. There was a level of negotiation that was more sophisticated. Okay. Now it's like everybody does import export. Everybody is involved in international shippings, and then the things that, like the bones of the business, the complicated parts that people relate, that just seems like just a bureaucracy, but it's not. That's really complicated. But anyways, on this process, okay, these are my brains, okay, and they're all like a top scale business. This means it's all trade market, they're registered. I have clients, I have contracts, I have suppliers, and then so this is the evaporated milk. This one I sell for one reason, which I got that question the other day. I love my clients in Libya. My clients in Libya, sometimes people ask, why do you do business in Libya? It's like, they like me, they buy my products, and I have a good relationship on my clients there. So I do not know, like that's on the sales process, you never really know where you're going to sell. I'm just a democratic person, and I open my doors to the entire market, and then I see what I fish, and I go from there. In this particular business of the food business, with my American brains, and then that I create, because I created these brands, and all in the USA, and this one I was in Ireland, and that one's in Thailand. Like, so, and actually this one is called the Thailandese rice, which I'm going to put it here. And so I do all of this, okay, and the Thailandese, and then I am selling, okay, and shipping my product, and so and I'm successful. I'm very successful, and I have all my websites. I have all my leads. On my own company, I'm making more than $1 million since 2014 on gross revenue with my own company, okay? Not in different matters, in different businesses. And but the bottleneck actually, which is the question mark that not only me, but all the market has, is like, why I have so many difficulties? Like, why I'm such a successful company? I have clients, suppliers, workers, associates. I pay tax. I go back to my personal life, and then I'm always handling like rough starts. My answer is the market is rough, and there is big problems in the banking industry. There's big problems in the legal industry, and there is big problems in the communications industry. My perception is that these are three industries. They have been overtaken by brokers. And when I say brokers, I mean brokers. It's somebody who is involved in the process, but he's not on the production. Because usually for you to produce something, you need to be attached to something. So this is my case here. Like, I have this product because I'm attached to these products. Like I do these products for years, so I know the product, I know the packaging, I know the whole thing. I'm attached to this, so I am producing this and I'm selling it to the market. I tend to do more the sales aspect because that's where I am more talented. That's what I do the most. But I am on one side. I sell food for export. If anybody who knows me, what do you do? I sell food for export. That's what I do. What do you own? I own a company. I have my own brands. I have this. This was developed, these products, okay? And what do you do? I sell them. It's not that I have somebody that sells for me. I sell them. And but then on this process, then I have these questions more like, what's the problem? Why you just don't ship them? Why you just don't get paid? Why you just don't receive your payments? My answer is the market. It's definitely very, very rough. I tell you, like, every time I have a customer that wants to pay, I mean, I need to really talk to bankers and accountants. It's like, what to do? I'm receiving a payment. What to do? Like, and almost like I have no answers. You know, that's something that's really very messy, and it's not only a problem in Europe. It's a problem across the world, and that's a question mark that we just do not know. Okay, we do not know. I have cases with different banks and bankers. Okay, there was a banker in Florida. Like all this that we keep doing meetings, and it's always very complicated. The legal system is also sometimes shocking because I'll tell you the big principle. So I don't talk for 1 hour again. It's like the broker's culture. It's a culture that is not attached to anything. And sometimes I say this. I had an experience with an attorney on Friday that he made a presentation to a judge about me, and he was working on my defense. But then on this presentation, Augustin is an international sales guy. He works this. He's going through some difficulties, and because of business-related matters, and he's a broker. And then I'm thinking about that. Like, that was a yes and no explanation. He said good things about me and bad things about me, and then I wonder, like, who is he working for? He was really presenting a defense for me to the judge, or he was trying to sell his services to the judge and to myself at the same time. But then the result, which I appreciate his effort that he was there, he was working, he was in my defense. But the result was that that presentation went outside the purpose of that case in particular. In that case in particular, he was not selling his services for anybody. He was already hired to work on my behalf. So he had to answer a question about a particular action. He could mention something about me, but the defense was into a particular situation that should be discussed, not about if he's on my side or he's on the side of the judge. So that's what I'm saying. And that was not even the judge, was the police. So it was the police and me, two sides, and they're going to come to a conclusion. So everything ends up well. Okay, it was a case there, but. Going back to what's going on in the market, is that my problem nowadays is that I have all this structure where I'm successful, want to do business, but instead of just doing business, I am talking in endless meetings, and these meetings, and these meetings, and these meetings, and it's like, but we still need reality, we still need actions to be done, and where are those actions? Are those actions done or not? And that's why we are maybe in recession. Okay, I was reading that we are in recession for 20 years. That's why everybody's so used to recession that we find this normal. No, it's not normal. It's recession. It's 20 years. We're in recession since year 2000. Okay, it's 20 years. It's called the biggest recession of all times. On this recession, we are there with all these problems. Okay, but going back, so LEGroup does something very simple. We have our brains. This is advertising. This is a magazine, okay, which is in it's called the Food Business Magazine. It's in Dubai. It's a magazine in Dubai. That's one advertising here that I did last year. We've been to different trade shows. This is a prize that was given. This was one client that he buys this product. He's a very good client. He buys this product for several years, and then it was one that was year 2016. We gave them a prize. Was a trophy or something that he had in his office. So this product here is made in Portugal. It's a cow rose rice. It's a medium grain rice. This is made in Portugal. This one is made in South Brazil, in the border with Argentina. We do the Florida rice parboiled, the Florida rice white. This is another one. Okay, all of them they go with LEGroup brand in the back and everything. This one is made also in South Brazil, which is the American cowboy, American alfalá. This is a very popular product. And this one is the royal grain, which is also trademarked. This is also made in Brazil. It's in South Brazil, it's on the border of Argentina. This is the tuna. The tuna is made in Thailand. There are different versions of the brand. Okay, this is a spicy version. Yeah, it comes with spice. The brand is Marisole tuna. This is olive oil. This is the American. This is for the USA. These ones are for the Middle Eastern countries. The yellow, USA is blue. And so this is different sizes of cans. This is the evaporated milk. This is one is made in New York at the upstate. It's made in New York. It's an American milk, and this is sold in Libya too, in the northern Africa. These are different versions. The tuna you have the smaller cans sometimes. This is made in Thailand. These are like big bags. We ship this to all over Africa, different countries. Ship it to the Central America, and the ones that say American and the ones that say Thailandese. There's like three big. Thailandese means jasmine rice, which is the perfume rice, a rice that has perfume. Parboiled is the American one because it's a type of rice that's famous overseas as American. It's the rice that has the parboiled taste. I do have suppliers of rice in the USA. They are in Arkansas. The only reason we don't manage to ship is the reasons I explained, which is the banking, legal, and communication, but mostly banking and legal. For some reason, we try to solve the puzzle with the bankers and the attorneys in the USA, and we never come to a conclusion. And we keep leaving all the production, the products in the USA. We just don't do that, but we do have frequent orders to ship products from the USA. And then what we do, we ship it from different countries until the banking and the legal situation in the USA comes to a solution. It is a 20 years of recession, but this is an American company, and we do produce the products in different parts of the world, but we also ship from the USA, which is this cheese and this milk. When it comes to legal matters, okay, which I was explaining, based about difficulties the market is passing through now, we also working on this. So working on this, we are working with the banking and with the legal stuff. So banking is knocking the door, we kind of going through legal to find a solution for the lack of banking services. Okay, I'll tell you why the banking. It's because this recession is something. There's something that we do not have access to the whole information. But there is a big recession. It seems that the bankers they run out of liquidity. Like they don't have a cash. They have what they call properties. Usually on the banking English, they use the word property, which they refer to objects of big importance that have enough value to be considered as a collateral for a banking procedure. That means If I want to buy, I need to ship 40 containers of this rice, which is an order of $500,000. I need to get an object like a house or something, and I will give possession of this house to this banker, and then this banker is going to allow my client to pay him, so that it's a word that sometimes we do not understand in an industry, because we have clients that they trust us and they want to do business with us, but then instead of just making a simple wire transfer to us, so we pay for the rice, we pay for the packaging, we pay for the freight, they prefer to put it on the bank for safety reasons. But then we need to go and talk to the same bank to give us credit, but then the bank does not believe we are going to pay, and then for security they ask us to leave an object as a property there and as a guarantee, and so that's more how the transaction works. But usually this process, it would be more simple a few years ago, and it's not anymore. And the reason that I learned, and that was through bankers. Okay, this was a banker from Portugal, where I was buying this product. That he said the thing is that this system has worked for several years, but especially since 2008 now, the problem is that most of the companies that were not able to honor their loans, and they end up paying the loan with the properties to the bankers, and now the bankers, they end up with a massive amount of state. So they own cities, they own buildings, they own apartments, they own like all sorts of farms and things, but they're not managing that because it's not their work. So, but they own, and that's what you see some funny news maybe explaining why, for example, Ireland now is transferring all the beef production to South America, but maybe because the farm, whatever, it's a banking word, but on this process we end up waiting for a solution for the banking crisis, because the recession, that we just do not know what's happening. But still, we have all the clients, and they want to buy, and they want to do business, and they want to send us their payments, and then we end up in this banking. But at the same time, every time we go with a direct decision to solve problems, we end up discussing brokerage terms, which is brokerage. Okay, it's an infinity of words to make something become very complicated, and that's called brokerage, which is buy, sell, buy, negotiation. Always. But at the end of the day, I just want to get a payment and ship this, and then I'm talking about this brokerage conversation, and I do not really understand what's the funniest case was Wells Fargo USA. On this broker's talk, they asked me to deposit $100,000 in my account in Wells Fargo, so they would lend me back $100,000. And I was like, "You asking me to deposit $100,000, so you lend me back $100,000? That doesn't, what is this? I mean, if I had $100,000, why I would ask for a credit or something?" But anyways, we keep working, we keep selling. We just do not know. We do not know. Some people say these are the ends of these times, that probably all these industries are just going to fade away, because they're not really that useful for the economy. They just make everything super complicated, and then we are trying just to ship and produce and deliver and do our work, and we end up talking in circles. And then you see the cases of Venezuela, you see the cases of California, you see the cases of so many countries that they are really stuck on this endless conversations, and they just don't go into any solution. But that's why I'm going back. I believe the market is very rough. There's way too many brokers involved. I think the number one case that on the legal aspect is Brexit. The Brexit is like, every time I try to really get an update of what's going on Brexit, it's like, wow, there's a lot of brokers in the legal system, because they keep talking to each other about random stuff. And the last one I heard today is that there are brokers trying to sell a no Brexit deal, that Brexit should stop because food and petrol are going to be more expensive. So they're reducing the reason for a population of the United Kingdom to request to be removed from the European Union based on the fact that the prices of food and the prices of petrol are going to be higher, which it's just an assumption, but it's still, it's a simplify. It's really like I do not know if that's a resolutive conversation, or maybe they're not understanding the full concept behind Brexit. Why this population requested to leave the European Union? I believe that those who requested that they're not really aiming at an economical compensation with that. I don't think they did that thinking that it was an economical decision, because I believe to be out of an union or something means costs. So usually you are already paying a price for that once you take a decision to. It's like a divorce. If you marry and you decide to divorce from your wife, that you understand costs. There is going to be costs. It's going to decrease for both parties. There's costs involved. So anyways, but it's something that we see on the news, and maybe we are affected by this as well. But going back, this is what we do, and then there's the tuna. There's different versions of tuna. It's made in Thailand. This has the plastic lid. They all have this plastic lid, so if you don't eat that, because it's an easy top, so you open the whole top, and then you have the tuna inside, and then you can close it with this plastic lid, which I prefer not to sell for ecological matters. Like it's not something that we really need, but it's a very interesting solution. If some families they don't eat the entire tuna, this can last for several days in the fridge. When it's covered, it doesn't get the problem of being open in the fridge. And so what else? So I think this is LEGroup USA. I tell you, I have another company which is LEGroup Ireland. I'm going to explain why I have two companies. Number one is because I work global. I work all over the world. Number two is me personally. I am an European citizen and an Argentinian citizen, and I am not an American citizen. In the USA, I am an investor. I am a foreigner who started a business in the USA. So I own a company in the USA. I started, and I worked myself in the USA physically for a few years, because on those years I had two functions in the USA. I was physically there as an employee. I was there as the logistician. I was the import-export manager, and that's why I was physically present in the USA. And I do have a massive amount of documents in the USA. I'm answering this because I was questioned about this in some legal problems of people who really did some harm against me, and they use the justification of me not being an American citizen, and they were entitled to really steal from my company based on that. I will explain this. On the political point of view, I am nobody in the USA. I can be an influencer. I can express my opinion as somebody who's frequent in the USA, as somebody who owns a business in the USA, somebody who advertises products made in the USA with an American brand, with an American concept. I even received a letter from the Federal Trade Commission in Washington about some problems we have in there. But I can express my opinion, and sometimes outsiders, they have a better view of your own country than yourself, because you see from the outside, so sometimes you have a better view. But I'm on politics, I'm not important in the USA. But anything else, I am important in the USA, because I have a company there. I'm an investor. I am giving jobs to Americans. I'm hiring Americans. I'm bringing economy there from overseas, especially. My business is international, so in export, so I bring from outside in. So there is an income that I bring to the country, and at the same time, on this process, and also being present in the USA for 20 years. I'm there in America since 1999. Was my first internship was in Texas in 1999. As a child, I was involved with the USA too, because on my Irish side, my grandmother had family in Boston. My father used to go to the USA, to Chicago. He would work there with a tractor company. So as a teenager, I had so many friends that they went to study in the USA and they learned English and they went to high school there. So then when I went to the USA, it was nothing. So we were really close to American matters, things, and Italy too. Italy and America will be the two countries outside Argentina and Brazil that I'll be more associated for work reasons. Ireland was a bit hidden, like it's more in the family, my grandmother, my father, something that I would not come to mind. But then, on these 20 years of the USA, I have an American phone. I have actually two American phones. I have the American driver's licenses. I have Social Security. I have my credit cards are American. I have everything. I pay tax in the USA for like 5 years, and I pay tax as a company. I pay tax as a person. So I do have a full life in the USA, and I have a full life, and I have a very clean record in the USA. That's why, for example, I am pre-approved for credit on Citibank, which is the bank that I bank the most, and I'm bank approved also Vaccine Bank, which is the one that was the exports. And again, going back to the banking industry problem, I am approved, but then once I want to use, there's always a problem into using. There's always something missing at the time of really paying. And coming back to the Agustin Bank, which is the bank that promotes the exports in the USA, the reason was this a problem in the system. The system didn't. There was a problem in the system, and for that reason, I was not able to have. I needed $85,000 for 2-3 weeks, and the bankers of the Agustin Bank, they just said no. It was chaotic and something which is really very sad. Okay, it's very sad, because then you have the recession, and then you have all the problems. There's the question mark. Everybody's asking what's going on in the banking industry, what's going on in the legal industry, and what's going on the communications industry, especially in the USA, that's not really functioning. It's not functional. That's a word in economy called functionality, that something is functional, that has a meaning, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes to 5, but it's not. There's a lot of gaps that you do not really understand, okay? It happens. America has this problem that we have this thing about being perfect, that everything has to be perfect and professional in the USA, but it's not. Humans like anybody else, and I say we because I have a company there and access there, and it's American English what I speak, and usually so we have this obligation that things need to be perfect and correct, and then at some point they're not, and then we have this obligation of being correct, okay? But that does not mean that everything's perfect. It does not mean that America is this powerful, everybody says, all over the world. America has this control, that Americans know everybody, they know everything, they control everything. It's not, the world is very big, okay? And so what else? I do this, I do that, and then this is my legal status there. Italy, okay? I am also Italian, okay? So I relate and I tell, because as a person, okay? I relate to 5 countries as a person. Again, they go related with who I am as a child, which is what I said. I'm Irish, Italian, born in Argentina, Brazil. And this means USA, this means Ireland, this means Italy. So I am present in these 5 countries, okay? I am present in Brazil, I'm present in Argentina, I'm present in Ireland, I'm present in Italy, I'm present in the USA. This means in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 countries, I have local documents, I have the insurance, the social security number, I have the different varieties. I have my physical address, residence address, and then I function in those 5 countries. Okay, and another thing is that another country that has been very frequent in my life for the past 3 years is Thailand. I also have a social security in Thailand because I have been working in Thailand for like 3 months. I went there 3 times. I do business there. I generate massive results to Thailand. So I'm also, and I'm sorry, I'm explaining all this on politics. I vote in Italy, Argentina, and Ireland. This is where I vote. I vote in Italy and in Argentina because I am a citizen, and I vote in Ireland because I am a resident in Ireland. So I vote in these 3 countries. I vote in Ireland on local elections, elections that residents can vote. These are residents from the European Union because Ireland is part of the European Union, so I vote in local elections because I am an European living in Ireland. The same way an Irish voting living in any other country of Europe or in Italy, they can vote for local elections. Elections that are related to prime minister, referendums to change the constitution, only citizens are allowed to vote. So those type of elections, I vote at the Argentinian embassy in Dublin, at the Italian embassy in Dublin, Ireland. Okay, so this is my political situation because I also had these questions as a citizen. As a civil citizen that can have some rights and obligations, and then as a business owner, and then I have all my presence in the USA, all my presence in Ireland, because those are my 2 companies, main companies. I have a new company in the United Kingdom, but this company is still on formation. It's still on formation. And but these are the 2 main companies: Dublin, Ireland, Fort Lauderdale, USA, Florida, and that's it. And I'm very popular. I sell a lot. I do sell a lot. The bottleneck that I always have is that the volume of sales that I generate is too high. So usually I try to sell $20,000. I end up selling $2 million, and so usually the volume of business that I generate, they are very big, and for this reason I face problems of corporations, with a big corporation, as if I were a corporation myself. And sometimes it feels that this corporation world is way too closed. It's way also very mysterious. Something that maybe I wonder why I am so popular is because I am a corporation with a face, and you do not have these companies anymore. Maybe I'm like 100 years delayed because if you go like these big corporations, Nestle, Cargill, Kraft Foods, there were Guinness, there were corporations maybe 50, 100 years ago that there was a person behind those companies, okay? Nowadays, it's hard to find those companies that there is a person with a face. Like in Ireland, you have like, it's not Ornua, what's the company? Ornua? No. The Kerrygold, for example, you just don't know who's the person behind. But there was a person behind maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So I have this personal touch, and also that's one of the reasons that I'm popular. Okay, I have more products. For example, I have olive oil. I have a big quantity of olive oil. I have also wines for Switzerland. I have more options of products. But I focus on the products that I have, the products that I deliver, and that's it. So this is also, I will do different bags. This is a bigger bag. This is 5 kg. This is 1 kg. So it's the same product, different bags. And yes, so that's it. Okay, and that's it. So you're open to a lot of things, and we're just awaiting. On the legal matters, especially, it has been the priority of investment of this year. was legal, okay, and the fact that we need to come to an agreement of a legal structure that allow us to operate internationally on a very functional level, that things are simple and they work and they have a sense and they are up to date to the reality of the world of 2019. So, and then there's lawsuit. This is one of them too. This is also, this came with all the legal work we've been doing. This is me again. Because with all the work we've been doing worldwide, there are some gaps in the economy, okay, and one of them is the situation with the internet and the social media. Like I'm preparing this video, and this video it's more of an infomercial. In marketing, we call this infomercial, which is a commercial but it's informative. And then I'm using YouTube as the channel for me to broadcast this. And so there is this gap about what's happening, what's the relationship, how it's also related to the banking industry. It's all these question marks that everybody has about how come a media company, you know, you produce contents and you don't get paid, and then but you can advertise, you know. So in my particular opinion, and my case is not with YouTube, my case is with Facebook, which is the number one media channel that I have been creating content for so many years. I used it since 2008, so on a personal level I use it for 2008 to now 2019, so it's 11 years. And then after all the news and everything that has been happening in the American Congress, we came to this conclusion that's not, I'm sorry, like I've been working for Facebook, I've been creating content for Facebook. Facebook has a profitable business that's based on my work, my contents. I'm the production. Again, I work with production, so like I produce this and then I sell, but this is all paid for. It's all paid for. It's not that I charge and I don't pay for the rights. It's the same thing on media, and that's when it comes my age, okay, that I'm older. A lot of the younger generation does not understand this, but in the 90s especially, until the 90s, usually those who create contents, they would be the best salaries, the best, the people like they'd be disputed to receive a payment. So from a channel like the TV channel, TVs were the biggest players, and they would be like disputing somebody. So there will be cases of this journalist from did you know he was hired from this other channel, and they would move from BBC London to CBS America, and that was something that really, and they were even on the news, oh, he was charging $500,000, and maybe now he's making $700. If you want to mention the career of the person, and it's been 10 years of this gap that nobody really understands. You have the Facebook celebrities, the social media celebrities, and all that, like, and the whole thing is so confusing, and that also justifies why I'm making this video, which I never did before. Is because this is like a job interview that I'm explaining what I do, but I'm posting this on media because, and this is going to be stated there, LEGroup Industries, Augustin Tomas, Obrien, Caceres. I say Caceres or Caceres because it depends on the accent. I say Augustin because it's international, but my name in Argentina is Agustin. Agustin es mi nombre en Argentina. Agustin. Augustine in English. And but then we have all these question marks, you know, like what's going on in the media industry, that this confusion with the social media and everything. But then my position is clear. I just understand that I've been working and creating content, and so I'm just sending I sent to them my bill and everything. The responses are very awkward. They do not follow any logic. But then I go back to what I said before, which is the banking industry is it's a question mark. The legal industry is a question mark. The communications now is a question mark. So myself, I have been victim of fake news. Like everybody, I always see all the time, fake news, fake news, fake news. I was victim of that myself. I was attacked on my business last year. with problems that were totally new. You know, I've been seeing also on the market some objections of customers to buy, and also suppliers, also negotiations that they're very new. They're new objections, and most of them I do not see sense. I don't see functionality, and I always measure as a businessman. You always measuring your time and your cost and what results. So it's everybody who's a businessman understands this. This like I'm making this video now, and like I'm going to spend 1 hour talking. I'm going to upload. I'm going to post. I'm going to this. Is this worth or not? I could have done this video like 5 years ago, but today, 2019. Today is I'm in Ireland, and today is December 4th, 2019. My name is Augustin Tomas, Obrien Caceres, and I am creating this video now, which I'm going to broadcast soon. It's going to be public, and it explains the general panorama of what I do and who I am. But then as I'm measuring, okay, I believe this is a good thing to do. Does not mean that we are right. Does not mean that we are wrong. Usually business people and sales people, we work with intuition, with guessing, with tasting the waters, with checking the market, we understanding what's happening. We get this feeling, and then we try to guess. It's like a captain of a ship, but we do not have that technical formula to give us a precise result, because business is half human science. It's half and half human science, half technical. So we need to always use the human science. Sometimes things change. You know, you have fashion, you have taste, you have populations, you have age, you have time. So these things, they change, and then sometimes, so you always paying attention, and then we come to an intuition combined with a reality, that we see, no, this is going to be a good business, this is not going to be a good business, no, don't do this, this looks beautiful, but it just does not sell. So we work with this intuition a lot, and usually on ships, and or if you see the weather, you know, that's why sometimes we follow religions, and we're very religious, because we have to have faith, that we believe that this is going, and we always are hoping things to get better, things to be good. That's our engine. That's why we keep trying and working and trying to move ahead, because we always see something positive coming. We're always on the whole scenario, oh, this is going to be a good thing to do, and that's what we do, and that's what I do as well. Okay, so it was a pleasure, okay, making this video again, and I'm posting a lot of videos. One of my missions this year was to really leave these lawsuits and these legal things and these things very structured, so that everything gets clear, and one of them is to really leave a proper presentation about who I am. I'm not perfect, I'm not the best, I'm not bad or good. I just prefer to be judged and condemned about who I am, not about random things that they would say about me, and I'd be condemned about things that is like, I think I'm the one they're talking about, but that's not me. That's just a fantasy. It's just like what we say, false news and fake news, and I've been there, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I'm trying to really, you know, like come to a middle point about what does that mean, you know, like several things that I heard about me that I'm really still shocked. Okay, so let's stop this video and let's go here with LEGroup Industries USA. Okay, cheers.